Saturday morning, Emirates Stadium, 12:30 kickoff, and if Arsenal win this game, we go 12 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Let that sit for a second. 12 points with games to play against a team in Bournemouth who, respect to them, have no business stopping us right now. This is a massive, massive moment for this club, and I genuinely think we're on the edge of something historic. So let's break everything down. The injuries, the lineup decisions, the Arteta mind games, and yes, I'll also touch on what Fabrizio Romano has been saying about this squad's future, because the bigger picture here is just as exciting as the game itself. Let's get into it. The title race is real right now. Look, I know Arsenal fans have been burned before. We've been close, we've wobbled, we've dropped points in games we should have won easily. So trust me, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. But this feels different. Win today, and we're 12 points ahead before Man City even play Chelsea tomorrow. That means even if City win their game, which honestly they might, we are still in a commanding position. And for a club that hasn't won the league title in over 20 years, that kind of gap matters emotionally as much as it does mathematically. Think about the run we've been on. Beating Spurs 4-1 away from home, beating Chelsea 2-1 at the Emirates, grinding out results at Brighton and Brentford. This team is not lucky. This team is good. So yeah, today matters a lot. The injury situation, honest talk. All right, let's be real about the elephant in the room. Our injury list going into this game is not ideal at all. Bukayo Saka, where do I even start? He's been out since the Carabao Cup final. He pulled out of the England squad during the international break too, which tells you this isn't just a minor knock, it's something they've been carefully managing. Every week it feels like we're holding our breath waiting for news on him. Martin Odegaard, our captain, he came back against Southampton, looked like himself again, then went off in the midweek win against Sporting. The timing of that substitution had every Arsenal fan nervous, and rightly so. Jurriën Timber, groin problem, hasn't played since the Everton game, and before he got injured, he was probably our most consistent performer. Losing him completely changed how we could press and attack down that right side. Riccardo Calafiori, another one who missed training on Thursday. Piero Hincapié, got injured on international duty with Ecuador, worst possible time. Mikel Merino, confirmed out after foot surgery, won't be back for this one. On paper, that list looks like a crisis, and a month ago, it was a crisis. But here's the thing. Arteta stood at that press conference on Friday and said something that caught everyone's attention. There have been changes since yesterday. That's classic Arteta. He never gives you a straight answer. But those words mean something. Because on Thursday, none of the key injury doubts were training. And then by Friday, he's telling journalists that the situation has already changed. He even said there will be more changes by Saturday. So do we get Saka, Odegaard, Timber, Calafiori? Honestly, I think we might get at least 2 of them, maybe 3. The fact that Arteta is dropping these hints rather than shutting it down suggests he's got good news he's not ready to announce yet. And when asked directly if all 4 could be involved, he said, I don't know, some of them. That's not a no, that's a maybe. And right now, a maybe from Arteta on Saka is enough to get me excited. Eze is available, and that's a big deal too. Here's one that I think isn't getting enough attention. Ibarrechi, Eze is available for this game. He came back from a calf injury way earlier than expected. And the way Arteta spoke about him in the press conference was genuinely touching. He said Eze came to him straight after feeling the knock and said he wanted to be available the following week. Arteta knew that was impossible, but the fact that Eze pushed himself, the fact that he was working every single day to get back faster, that tells you something about his character. And now he's back. Could he start? Probably not after missing weeks of training, but off the bench, absolutely. And given how dangerous he is in tight spaces and in transition, that's a real weapon for Arteta to use. Merino will be back sooner than we think. Okay, quick word on Merino, because the manager said something interesting there too. Merino had foot surgery. On paper, the expected timeline is several more weeks. But Arteta basically told journalists to watch out, because Merino is the type of person who breaks timelines. He's already out of his boot. He's already doing exercises. He has no pain. And Arteta said it himself. If there is a person who can make that period shorter, it's Mikel. That's not just a nice thing to say. That's a genuine hint that we might see Merino back before the season is over. For a title race, Having him available for the final few weeks could be the difference. He adds so much through the middle, press resistance, creativity, energy off the ball. Don't write him off just yet. The lineup, what I think happens. So with all the uncertainty, what does the team actually look like tomorrow? In goal, David Raya. No debate there. At the back, I think we see William Saliba and Gabriel as the centre-back pair. That's automatic. At right back, Ben White might come in to give Christian Mosquera a rest. Managing Mosquera's workload at this stage of the season is important. He's been brilliant, but he's young, and this run-in is intense. At left back, Calafiori is a doubt, but I think he plays. Arteta loves him in that role, and the hints from the press conference suggest he might be okay. In midfield, Declan Rice is automatic. Next to him, Martin Zubimendi. The man has been a revelation since he arrived, and he's been quietly one of our most consistent players in the second half of the season. Now the front three is where it gets interesting. Leandro Trossard has not scored a single goal in any competition in all of 2026. That's not a bad patch, that's a drought. And while I still rate him as a player, and I know he contributes in other ways, Arteta has to make a call here. Martinelli came off the bench against Sporting and was electric. He combined with Havertz for the winner in stoppage time. That's a player who is ready to start. I think Gabriel Martinelli starts on the left. It's time. On the right, Noni Madueke has been decent. He's direct. He takes people on. And against a Bournemouth side who can be exposed on the counter, his pace is ideal. In behind the striker, Kai Havertz starts. He was brilliant against Sporting, he's been in good form, and he offers so much pressing, hold-up play, arriving late into the box. And up front, Victor Gyökeres, the man Fabrizio Romano confirmed signed his Arsenal contract and walked through those doors at the Emirates, number 14. And he has been everything we hoped he would be. Predicted 11, Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Madueke, Havertz, Martinelli, Gyökeres, the Fabrizio Romano connection. What's coming this summer? Speaking of Gyökeres, let's talk about the bigger picture for a second. Because Romano has been dropping hints about Arsenal's summer plans that are genuinely exciting. You'll remember how this Gyökeres saga played out. Romano was reporting that Arsenal and Sporting were going back and forth on the fee. But throughout all of it, one thing was crystal clear. Gyökeres only wanted Arsenal. Romano reported it repeatedly. The player made his position clear to everyone. He wasn't interested in Man United links, he wasn't looking at other options. It was Arsenal or nothing. And in the end, it happened. Romano confirmed the deal, the documents were signed, and now he's here. That's what this club has become under Arteta. A destination players actively push to join. Now Romano has also been talking about what comes next. There are reports about Anthony Gordon being a potential target as Arteta looks to build more English quality into the squad. That fits. Arteta loves a certain type of player, high energy, tactically disciplined, good in the press. Gordon ticks those boxes. There's also been noise about Christian Kafane, the Bayer Leverkusen youngster who made an impression in the Champions League. Arsenal are apparently ready to submit a formal offer. Whether that comes off or not, it tells you this club is thinking ahead, looking at the next generation. Romano also addressed the Nicolo Tresoldi rumours that were floating around. A few outlets were saying Arsenal were in advanced talks. Romano cooled it down. He said there's nothing concrete or advanced at this point. So I'd pump the brakes on that one. When Romano says it's not there yet, you believe him. But the general picture, Arsenal are planning for a special summer. The foundations are here. The squad is nearly there. A couple of smart additions, and we are a genuine force, not just in England, but in Europe too. My take on this match, do I think we win? Yes. Comfortably? I'm not sure. Here's the thing about Bournemouth. They are not a pushover. They have caused bigger teams problems this season. They're compact, they're well drilled, and they'll look to catch us on the counter if we're too open. But Arsenal at the Emirates, with a title gap on the line, with Arteta's preparation, with players coming back from injury, I trust this squad. I think we score first. I think we control the second half. And I think we win 2-0 or 2-1. Gyökeres gets on the score sheet. He's been a machine, and I fancy either Havertz or Martinelli to add a second. If Saka comes off the bench and gets 20 minutes, that's a bonus. That's us getting our best player back into rhythm before the toughest run of games left in the season. Man City at home next, then Newcastle, then the final sprint to the finish line. This is the moment. This is the run-in, and I genuinely believe this Arsenal team is ready for it. Questions for you before I go. I want to hear from you. Do you think Saka plays any part against Bournemouth? Even off the bench? Should Trossard start, or is it time for Martinelli to get the nod? How many points do you think separate Arsenal and second place by the end of the weekend? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Final thought, look, I've been an Arsenal fan long enough to know that nothing is done until it's done. We've been here before on the edge of something special and watched it slip. But this time it feels different. The squad is deeper, the manager is better, the players are mentally stronger. And the gap at the top of the table is real. 12 points clear after today. That's the target. Go get it, Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.